Welcome to Living the Smarter Science of Slim, where we provide a scientifically proven lifestyle for long-term health and fat loss by eating more and exercising less, but smarter.
Eat smarter, exercise smarter, live better. I am so ready for that.
Hey everyone, Jonathan Bailor and Carrie Brown coming at you with another Living the Smarter Science of Slim podcast. We're excited to be here. Carrie, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
Well, today, Carrie, we have a bunch of awesome subjects to cover. The first of which, it's going to be interesting. Actually, I have two topics to start today's show, which are, I might get a little excited about, I'll be honest.
Am I going to have to reel you in?
You may have to reel me in.
I haven't had to do that for a while, so...
I know. Well, I'm giving you two great opportunities here. So the first one has to do, and this is like a minor thing, but oftentimes we talk about the set point, right, and how that is so critical to redefining the way we think of our body, because once we understand that our body works to automatically balance us out, we start to work on our body and healing our body so that it can balance us out rather than us trying to manually balance calories, right? It fundamentally changes our approach to health and fitness. So the thing that is still funny and sometimes a little, I sometimes get a little, if I was a cat, my hair on my back would stand up a little bit, is sometimes people refer to this as the set point theory.
Okay.
Focusing on the word theory.
Okay.
And I just want to unpack that a little bit, because that's a little bit like calling the world being round a theory at this point. Like it's not a theory, right? It's been demonstrated. So let me give a quick analogy. If you look in any textbook or you talk to any physician about how blood sugar works in your body, the body works to automatically regulate it, right? Like there is a set range in which blood sugar should exist, and if you eat foods that cause your blood sugar to rise, your body automatically takes steps to bring your blood sugar down. And if your blood sugar falls too low, your body automatically takes steps to bring it up.
That's awesome.
And because of that fact, people understand, and it is widely accepted, that there is a homeostatic regulation of blood sugar, aka there is a set point range blood sugar should exist in, and the body works to maintain that range, right?
Right.
Okay. So the criteria for something being a set point or having this homeostatic range is that if it goes up, the body automatically takes steps to bring it down, and if it goes down, the body automatically takes steps to bring it up, right?
Right.
Make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
And it also doesn't mean that it can't go haywire, right? The set point and a homeostatic regulation means the body tries to keep things in balance, but that it might fail, right? Like if it gets beaten down or the system breaks. Blood sugar, that's what diabetes is, right? Like the body loses its ability to naturally regulate our blood sugar, and then we have to intervene manually with insulin therapy and such if we don't fix the underlying issue. Okay. So it's not a theory that blood sugar is automatically regulated. It's a fact.
Okay.
So let's look at body fat mass. We know, and clinical studies are unambiguous, that if we eat more calories, our metabolism speeds up. Meaning, if we eat more, our body automatically burns more. And if we eat less, it's been demonstrated repeatedly in clinical settings that our metabolism slows down, meaning our body burns less.
Right.
So if we go up, our body automatically takes steps to bring us back down. And if we go down, our body automatically takes steps to bring us back up.
It's pretty clever when you think about it.
So for the exact same reasons that it's not a theory that our body automatically regulates blood sugar, it's not a theory that our body automatically regulates body weight. That's right. The way the body works is it tries to keep all of these life-sustaining functions in a range. And right, if our breathing is too shallow, our body takes steps to normalize it. If our breathing is too whatever, again, our body always takes steps to normalize it. So
unless it's broken.
And that's the exact, I think that might be what throws people off, is they're like, if the body is working to automatically regulate this, why are there so many obese people? Well,
because it's broken.
And certainly we don't take diabetic people as proving that, well, clearly we all have to manually inject insulin and monitor our blood sugar levels. We don't, right? Unless the system is broken. And if the system is broken, you might need to. So I just thought that was, when you do that comparison to glucose, and when you think about really the only things that need to be demonstrated to show that a system, that the body works to keep us in balance automatically, is conduct a clinical study where you take it higher than the normal range. Does the body do anything to bring it down? Take it lower than the normal range. Does the body do anything to bring it up? And if the answer is yes, which it absolutely and unequivocally is for body weight, nothing controversial here.
Right.
Simple enough?
Yes.
I love it. And I didn't get too excited on that
Slim
one.
is simple.
You didn't even have to reel me in.
I didn't even have to really. I was thinking about it.
just artificially.
I was getting a bit dry there, but we're good.
So the second one certainly has an opportunity to have some color commentary here, Carrie, and I am not joking. I was contacted by a reader who said that they've been seeing things flying around on Facebook talking about how sugar is good for you. The newest sort of internet, the newest internet nutrition sensation is saying,
sugar?
Is sugar.
Oh, I want to hear the spin on this.
And oh, it gets better. And that you should avoid green vegetables because of like the oxalate issue that we brought up many podcasts ago. So sugar, good. Green vegetables, bad.
The world has gone mad.
So point number one, Carrie has said this on numerous occasions, just because someone posted it on Facebook or just because it's on the internet
doesn't make it true.
Exactly. And here, I'm not going to obviously waste people's time even acknowledging the argument that processed sugar is good and wonderful, nutrient-dense green vegetables are bad for you. But here's what I would recommend for anyone who questions this. Stop eating vegetables and dial up the amount of sugar you're eating.
And see how
you feel and get blood work done and see how it goes. And frankly, if there's a group of us that have a genetic mutation which makes us run better on processed sugar than on vegetables, then by all means, eat processed sugar. But all the research I've done and all of the biochemical pathways in your body and just the way they work seem to suggest pretty clearly non-starchy vegetables such as spinach, something you want to eat more of, processed sugars, something you may want to avoid. I don't know. I know we're getting a little controversial here, but crazy talk. No, and I think that's actually the problem. Okay, the reason we have an obesity crisis in this country is because people are eating too many green leafy vegetables and not enough sugar. That's definitely the problem.
There's something I want to say, but we wouldn't be able to label this clean. So I'm going to just stay quiet at this point.
You're going to refrain?
Yes, I am.
All right, Carrie, will we?
He's talking nonsense, people, just in case anyone is just dialed in and confused. Yes. Eat your spinach, lovely people.
Eat your spinach.
And ditch the sugar. It's not good for you.
Correct. Next subject, Carrie, and an area that's going to hit home with you, because I know you're a fan of this, and I want you to talk about the glories of it. I had a reader write in claiming that they had discovered the ultimate sane convenience food. I thought it was too good to be true, and I read more about it, and I thought about it, and I tried it, and I said, that is pretty darn close to the ultimate sane convenience food. And it is...
Wow, sardines!
Sardines!
Yes, ding, ding, ding. Big gold star to CFP.
Tell us about sardines, Carrie.
Sardines are awesome.
Well, they don't get good press, though. They don't get good press, so we got to defend them here.
So I grew up on sardines, and look how I turned out. Don't say anything.
No, I have things that I could say.
I grew up on sardines. In England, sardines is like a staple. We eat them on toast. Okay, I don't eat the toast now, but I still eat the sardines because, when I was 6 and eating sardines on toast, I wasn't hormonally clogged, so that all worked. Now, not so much. Anyway, sardines are full of healthy fats.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely chock full of them. And they're also, particularly for road trips, they're brilliant because you you don't even need anything. You don't even need a can opener. You just peel
Absolutely.
the top off, dig your fork in, and off you go.
I mean, and that literally makes them the ultimate convenience food, folks. You do not need to refrigerate them. You don't even need a can opener. It's just, you can literally take some of them, put it in your purse. You can put them in the trunk of your car, like in case you get stranded somewhere, and you can just pop the top. And if your hands are clean, you could use your hands. If you're not, you use a fork. And you've got literally the sanest possible. We're talking nutrient dense. We're talking hormonally healthy. We're talking the purest form of the anti-inflammatory omega-3 fats. And you've got some awesome protein there. And frankly, I mean, you want to experiment. There's different kinds. There's kinds in oil, kinds in water. Find a kind that you like. But if you like fish, I was a little scared when I tried the little sardine, but it's quite delicious, actually.
And if you're feeling MacGyver-ish, what I like to do, if I'm trapped in a strange place with no fork and a can of sardines, is you can
which happens to me all the time.
It does happen to me all the time. You can just fashion, if you just bend the lid, you can fashion the lid into a shovel and just eat them with that, and it's just awesome.
That's actually quite creative.
You see? There you go. You were mocking me.
Well, no, see, now, if I can blow an egg out of the shell, then you can make your
shovel out of the top of the sardine
exactly.
can. But the other thing I would mention is have breath mints or gum with you, because, if you're eating sardines, especially if you're trapped in a car with other people, you probably don't want that whole sardine breath going on.
Absolutely.
Sardines are fantastic. Eat sardines.
And an additional tip on top of that, so MacGyver-ish, convenient, sane, my recommended way to purchase sardines is Amazon Subscribe and Save. So again, I have no ties with Amazon, but Amazon offers a service called Subscribe and Save, which is awesome. You can get this big pack of sardines. Like, just go on Amazon, search for sardines. They've got all the varieties you could ever imagine. And then when you're on your checkout page, there's an option, not a checkout page, just when you're on the page, there's a filter. You know how you can filter by 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, Carrie? You can also filter by Subscribe and Save. And this is a feature where you can have not any, but a lot of the products Amazon sells delivered to you on a regular basis. Now, the reason this is cool is because they waive shipping fees and they give you 5 to 15% off. So
love that.
Already getting a really good deal, because Amazon generally has the best prices I've ever found on non-perishables. Plus, you get free delivery. Plus, you get recurring delivery, so you don't have to worry about getting more from the store and running out. And they take an extra 5 to 15% off the price.
That's awesome.
Sign me up.
The other thing I like to do is buy lots and lots of sardines when they're, $10 for $10 or whatever it is. So they often have sardines at that kind of crazy price. And so I just tend to buy, 30 or 40, call me crazy, cans of sardines when they're $1, and then it's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I may or may not think you're crazy, independent of your sardine purchasing. And now my shoulder has been flicked. And Carrie is drinking water, and I'm making her laugh in an attempt to cause problems.
Yes, I will spray my water all over your brand new laptop. Then you'll all be sad.
This is true. Carrie, next subject. And a subject which is going to segue nicely, or tie nicely back to our sugar satire from earlier, which is a question that came up from a wonderful reader, about carb cycling. So again, just another thing you might hear about on the internet called carb cycling. Now, we're not going to get into what carb cycling is.
Good, because I had no idea what carb cycling is.
I think it's you get on a bicycle and you eat bread. That was
You're just full of it today, aren't you?
Really not funny. Let's try again. -3 points for Jonathan.
He's tired, people. He's getting delirious.
With any of these things, a couple things. One, people were healthy and slim and happy prior to any of these things existing, right? So they cannot be required to be healthy, slim, and happy. The other thing to keep in mind is, like, if you do have time and effort and want to try these things, that's fine. Try them. If they make you feel good and they make you look good and you like it and it doesn't stress you out, then it's good. If it makes you feel bad, makes you look bad, and it stresses you out, then it's bad. Like, with so much of these things, I think people try to say, like, what is the truth? We all have things, obviously, a lot in common. But, for example, the things that make me happy are not necessarily the same things that make Carrie happy. There's things in general that make people happy, But we all have those variations. The same thing applies with health and fitness. So if you want to try carb cycling or any other internet thing, or a fast or intermittent fasting, or 2 days of fasting and 3 days of standing on your head, if it makes you feel good and you like it and it helps you get to your goals, then it's good. If it doesn't, it's bad. At least that's how I like to look at it.
I'm looking at the question on the support group, and my mind is just, my whole brain is glazing over just reading the what you kind of have to do, and the this day you do this and this, and I don't know. Great, if it works for you, as Jonathan said, that's brilliant. If that kind of regimen helps you in any way, it's all goodness. But for me, I look at that and I'm just like, no, it's way too complicated. My life is so crazy. I don't need already. Right. I don't need that kind of. So the reason I'm saying this is because you absolutely do not have to do this.
Absolutely. To
be successful. Absolutely. If it works for you, do it. But don't feel like if you're not doing it that you're somehow failing or missing something or not going to get there. Or just eat same foods, you'll get there.
And that's the reason. For example, I'm not digging into the argument for or against sugar being better for you than non-starchy vegetables, or carb cycling being worthwhile. Is so much of this is you have a person, like any of us, myself, Carrie, you listening to the show, you know your body better than anyone else. So like if we met on the street and you said, Jonathan, what do you think about this? And I said, I think you should do it. And then you do it and you feel terrible and it does not help you get your results.
Stop.
Stop. That's the bottom line is results. We talk about this in Smarter Science and Slim. Like, be a pragmatist. Pragmatists say something is good or bad based on whether or not it works. And it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. We may be able to point you in the right direction. We may be able to help you understand why you may be more likely to have success taking one approach rather than another. But ultimately, the buck stops with you.
Right.
Not with me, not with Carrie, not with anyone else.
Right. We can give you the principles. Jonathan, has spent 10 years figuring out how the body actually works. And, and then he's come up with principles for how to apply that to your life. But outside of that, there's got to be some personal kind of leeway about how you apply it to your life. Because, I'm busy in a different way to other people are busy. I don't have children, but I have all this other stuff going on. And so for me, it's got to be practical and fast. But other people have different constraints. So just take the principles and apply them to your life.
And here's what I'd recommend.
And if it doesn't work, tweak.
Exactly. But like this individual who is very dedicated, and I salute them if they enjoy this, but they start their question off with, I've read 5 books on carb cycling, and what do you think I should do? Again, it kind of doesn't matter. If you want to try it. Like, there's very few things in life. As long as you understand that it's not bonkers. Like, don't just try anything. But it doesn't really matter what the book says, and it really doesn't matter what I think. What matters is if it works or not for you. Bottom line.
Yeah, we really wouldn't, in all seriousness, recommend that you stop eating non-starchy vegetables and start eating a massive amount more sugar than you are.
Correct.
In all seriousness.
And that's what we don't recommend it.
But if you want to see how it feels, go ahead, try it. But I'm 99.99999% sure you ain't going to be happy.
Absolutely.
And you're not going to be any closer. In fact, you're going to be further away from your health and weight loss goals if you do that.
That's exactly
But if you want to know for yourself, give it a try.
Well, and this is more, I'm more plugged into the internet nutrition community than most of our listeners, and frankly, I'm actually maybe trying to get a little bit out of it, because the thing that bothers me about it is people trying to say, like, no, carb cycling is good or carb cycling is bad, or no, this diet is right, this diet is wrong. What is that? That's like saying this outfit is the best outfit. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, well, is a tuxedo the best outfit? Well, not if you're going to the swimming pool, right? Like, there is no best, this is good or bad. You have to say, well, okay, who is the person, what is the context, what is their goals, what are they doing? And like Carrie said, there are principles. Non-starchy vegetables are better for you than sugar. If you define better for you as long-term health and fitness, but if better for you means in that moment, how does it make you feel? Well, then sugar's probably better for you, right?
At least emotionally.
Right. So even saying like, is this good or is this bad? That's like those kinds of global, non-contextualized or personalized statements are very, very hard. And they're also why this area seems so complicated, because that which is good for this person in this context might be bad for this person in this context. Here's an example. Drinking like a super, super sugary beverage immediately after training for a long distance endurance event where the next day you need to perform well is probably one of the best things you could ever do. It's great for you. It's great for recovery. It'll help replenish your muscle glycogen stores. Now, if you are someone who works at a desk all day and you heard that and you're like, sugar's good for you.
Right.
Like, no, that's not. It was in that context for that person. And that's why it seems so confusing, because it is so contextually and individually dependent. Right.
So you just have to be aware that you can do anything you want to do. You just got to be clear about what the goal is you're trying to reach and where you are in relation to it.
Yeah.
So, some people who maybe aren't as old as me can probably get away with eating more sugary fruits and not gain weight, whereas me being older can't do that.
Absolutely. And the one thing that's important to keep in mind is I also don't want everyone here to feel like, oh God, like why am I listening to this podcast if everything is so general? The one thing to keep in mind is, when we talk about the Smarter Science of Slim, we talk about sane eating and eccentric exercise, we are targeting that at individuals who are in a certain life situation. Like if you're pretty much very, very busy, you do not have a lot of time to spend on hobby related physical fitness, or you don't have an interest or the ability to do that, and you are not into geeking out on nutrition, and your goal is long-term fat loss and health, then the recommendations in their entirety in the Smarter Science of Slim make sense for you. But it's important to say in its entirety, right? Again, if you look at the protein recommendations we talk about for sane eating, that assumes that you're eating the vegetables we describe. It also assumes you're doing eccentric exercise. For example, if you were to eat just that protein without those vegetables, you would create a very acidic environment in your body. So again, it's the entire system. And if you didn't exercise eccentrically, you may not need all that protein. But if you do exercise eccentrically, you do. So when people, again, if you look at just let's call it the protein recommendations around the Smarter Science of Slim in isolation, people, it's confusing. But if you look at it in the customized and personalized context of the entire lifestyle, it makes sense.
And that's why I love that 2-page spread in the book where you've got, what is it you want to be? If you want to be obese, eat like this, up to if you want to be a fitness model, eat like this. Because the first time I read that, it totally gave me a sense of, I pick what my end goal is, and this program is flexible to get me where I want to be, which is different from where Sue wants to be, or where John wants to be, or where anybody else wants to be.
Absolutely.
So we give you the principles, and if you follow those principles but tweak it to fit your lifestyle, then you'll get to where you want to be.
And it's just so important, folks, because if you think about how we got to where we are today, meaning listening to the USDA's fat is bad, starch is good, protein is irrelevant guidance, that was looking outside ourselves for what works. And then despite the fact that it was making us sick and sad and fat, they were just like, well, just do it harder. And we looked outside ourselves. Whereas if we just turn that around and say, okay, it's not working. So expert, quote unquote, I don't care what you're saying. Like if a doctor writes you a prescription and it makes your fever worse and keeps it up. Like, it doesn't just go up temporarily and then it comes back down, because that's how the medicine works, but it like literally makes you chronically worse. Stop. Trust yourself and your body, not someone outside of you claiming to know you better than you know yourself. Fair?
Very fair.
Well, Carrie.
Well,
that one was, we got a little riled up on that one.
We did. Let's talk about something fun next week.
We always talk about fun things.
Know,
we always talk about fun things. Well, folks, I hope this podcast was as enjoyable for you as it was for Carrie and I. It's always a pleasure sharing our evenings with you, because we do these in the evenings.
Yes, we do.
Everyone, it's Jonathan Bailor and Carrie Brown. We're here living the smarter science of slim. We're eating more, we're exercising less, but we're doing it smarter. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye, folks.
Wait, don't stop listening yet. If you like the podcast and if there's other ways we can help you, please join us in the Smarter Science of Slim support group, which is freely available at the Smarter Science of Slim website, smarterscienceofslim.com. There you'll find all kinds of free recipes and success stories and just all kinds of fun stuff, like how to help your kids go sane and just great community content.
And just one last thing before you go, if you wouldn't mind heading over to iTunes and up onto Amazon.com and leaving us a review, and then going over to Facebook and liking us, we would hugely appreciate it.